Hi, I'm Melissa West, and you have clicked on the right place. I am a guest here today on Yoga with Kassandra. I like to start each class with a quote, and my quote for today is, saying you're not flexible enough to do yoga is like saying you're too dirty to take a bath. So I thought that was a great quote for a beginner yoga class today, which is what we're going to do, a beginner hatha yoga class. And my style of yoga is real yoga for real people. This is yoga that you can do so that you can move better, feel better, and connect with your true nature. So as I said, this is a beginner class, and I have a testimonial for you today. I also like to start with testimonials. It gives you an idea of what my students think of the class, and also lets you know a little bit about what's coming too. So Sonia said, I've just signed up for your beginner class challenge and I've shared with my friends who promised to take up the challenge as well. I hope this challenge will help me to build my strength and get back into a regular yoga routine. I love the modifications you demonstrate and enjoy the natural delivery of the classes. Loving the drone footage. I'll get Tim to insert some drone footage when it's not the winter months here. We live in Victoria, BC, and luckily we only have to come indoors for a couple of months in the winters to film. She loves the scenery and the locations of the classes. She lives in a small town in South Australia, and the landscapes continue to engage me, and I am very much a creature of the earth. So thank you again, Melissa. Your dedication and commitment to my well-being is very much appreciated. So I really appreciate hearing from Sonia and from all of you who take the time to leave your comments. And I look forward to hearing your comments on Kassandra's channel as well. I'll be checking in after this class to hear how you've done. So if you have any comments, leave them below and questions, and I'll be sure to be watching for them and answering them as well. And if you want the 31-day beginner challenge that Sonia is talking about, you just go to my website, melissawest.com. There's a triangle there that says Start Yoga Here. Just click on that, and then it's all laid out for you, 31 days of beginner classes for you to start. Okay, so I'm going to show you, for beginners, I like to take a little bit of time at the beginning of the class to go over what to expect. And one of the things that when you're starting yoga is if you have any medical conditions, any injuries, then it's a really good idea for you to go and speak to your medical doctor before you start practicing and ask them, are there any movements that I should avoid with this medical condition, and if so, what are they? And also, are there any movements that will make my medical condition or injury better? Then when you come to a yoga class, you know how to take care of yourself. So if you have any medical conditions or injuries, make sure you speak to your doctor first. Find out what movements you need to avoid. Don't talk to them about yoga. There's so many different styles of yoga. They don't necessarily know, but if you ask them what movements you should avoid, then you'll come away and you'll know how to look after yourself in class. Once you've looked after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a preview of the whole class. The great thing about that is you'll be able to know, hey, this is a class I can do, or this is a class that, no, you know what, is not really going to work for me. And that way, I'm not going to waste your whole next hour. So this is what you can expect in this class. We're going to start with the guided relaxation, which just means we're going to lie down on our backs with our knees bent and our feet flat on the floor. Turn your focus from the outside world into your internal focus. Then we're going to do some knee sways. I'll be giving this really slowly, lots of options, step-by-step instructions. After the knee sways, we're going to be doing bridge pose. After bridge pose, we're going to do a side bend on your back. And then we're going to do cat pose. So you'll be coming up onto all fours, going like this. I'll give you lots of options for your wrists and your knees. And then we're going to do some arm leg reaching here. Again, lots of options for arms and knees I'll be giving. Wrists and knees, sorry. And then we'll be doing a quadruped plank for your core with lots of options for wrists. And then we'll be doing Lunge Pose. From there, we will come up to standing. Okay, in standing, we're going to do chair pose. And then we're going to do wide-legged standing forward fold. And after that, we're going to come back down to the ground. We're going to do Sphinx pose. I've seen Kassandra do this in her classes. Great little back bend. And then we're going to come up and do a seated twist. I actually think I saw Kassandra do this very sequenced today in one of her videos. And then we're going to do child's pose. I will give you an option if you have knee issues where you can lie on your back and hug your knees into your chest instead. And then we're going to finish lying down on your back again. So that's what you can expect. If that seems like a journey that's going to be okay for you, then let's get started with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Okay, so you're going to lie with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Take a deep breath in through your nose and let it fall out of your mouth. And let this be a time where you come and rest. Gather your attention inwards to a single pointed focus, to the sensations in your body, to your breath. So all day long you rush around and your attention is pulled in all directions. And here you can focus on just one or two things: the sensations in your body, your breath. And you can feel the downward pull of gravity here as tension releases through the back of your body and into the ground. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your buttocks on the ground. Feel your elbows on the ground. Feel your rib cage on the ground. Feel your shoulders on the ground. And feel your head on the ground. So yoga is about so much more than flexibility. It's about shifting your awareness from the external demands of your world into a more embodied internal awareness and focus. Through yoga, you can connect to your breath, release physical, mental, emotional, and energetic tension, and you can build strength, increase your mobility and balance. So as you reflect on that, ask yourself, why am I here? What would I like to receive from my yoga practice today? And you can begin to set an intention for what it is that you would like to receive from your practice today. What is it that you are trying to create in your life? Maybe sustain in your life or let go in your life? And how could your yoga practice today help you to do that? And then take your arms out to the side in a soft T, so your arms are slightly lower than your shoulders. You'll take your feet out to the width of your mat, and you're going to breathe in and breathe out. Sway your knees to one side like windshield wipers, and then breathe in center, and breathe out. Sway your knees to the other side like windshield wipers. So breathe in center. Breathe out, sway your knees to the side. Breathe in, center. And breathe out, sway your knees to the other side. So this movement is excellent for mobilizing your hip joints. If you have any arthritis in your hips or just tightness in your hips from sitting a lot in chairs, this can really help to loosen up those hip joints and bring mobility to your hip joints. But more than that, because you are breathing and moving, you are coordinating your breath and movement, so you are bringing awareness to your breath as well. So it becomes a mindfulness practice as well. And then come back to the center. Line up your hips, your knees, and your ankles. Place your hands down by the side of your body. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out, press into your feet. And as you press into your feet, you'll feel your pelvis lift off the ground. You're lifting your pelvis off the ground. Relax your shoulders here. And you're coming into bridge pose. In Sanskrit, we call this Setu Bandhasan, bridge pose. This pose builds strength in your legs, in your glutes. So breathe into your belly here. Feel the insides of your feet. And keep breathing here, feeling this strength building posture here. And then slowly lower down. And you'll draw your knees into your chest. Hold on behind your knees in case you have any knee issues. And stretch out your low back here. Relax your shoulders, space between your teeth. Let your tongue just float in your mouth. Relax your shoulders. And then from here, you're going to take your legs and lower them down, lengthen them out. And you're going to take your arms straight overhead. And you're going to side bend. Doesn't matter which side, because we're going to do both sides. So take your torso over to one side of your mat. And I'm bending to the left side, so I'm going to breathe into the right side of my body. So breathe into the long side of your body. So So this opens up your intercostal muscles, all the muscles along the sides of your ribs, and it helps with your breathing, helps open up your breathing, opens up your lungs. Also lengthens your large intestine, your ascending colon here, which helps to relax your digestive system. So let's come back to the center and just pause for a moment in the center and feel the difference between the right and left side of your body here. See if you can take a deep breath here and feel a difference between breathing into the right and left side of your bodies. And then we'll go ahead and even that out here by side bending to the other side and breathing into the long side of your body. And then come back to the center and take a deep breath in the center. Notice if it's easier to take a breath, if there's more ease in your breath. And then from here, we're going to bend your knees, roll to your right side, and you're going to come up onto all fours. Okay, so here we're going to do cat pose. In cat pose, you have your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. And as I told you here, I'm going to give you some options for your wrists because this flexed position and weight bearing can be painful for some people in their wrists. So one option is to come up onto your fists. If that's still too much weight bearing through your wrists, then you can always come down onto your forearms as well. The other thing you could do is you could roll up your yoga mat. And then you could place the heels of your hands on the mat and your fingertips off your mat. And you can see that straightens out your wrists as well and takes the pressure off your wrists. For your knees, I would recommend you can either fold up your mat, that especially if you're on hardwood floor, you can just fold up your mat so there's more cushioning, or you can put a folded blanket underneath your mat, on your mat. So let's get a folded blanket. Okay, so a Mexican blanket like this is good because you still want some stability through your joints. Like you don't want your joints to be wobbling all over. So see how this gives some firmness still? So here we go. Something like that can be good for your knees. of course, you could also do this, if this is still too much on your knees, you could also do the movement of your spine sitting in a chair. So that could be an option too. Then that would take the whole wrist knee thing out of the whole equation too. Okay, so we're going to come on to, so let's say I'm going to take this position, and then you're going to exhale, breathe out, round up through your back, drop your chin towards your chest, and then you're going to breathe in and arch your back, lift your head and your tailbone up towards the ceiling. So you're going to breathe out, round your back, draw your heart up towards the ceiling, and then you're going to breathe in and open your heart up towards the ground. So this movement is such a great movement to bring mobility to your spine, all the vertebrae of your spine. Now, because you're moving your spine, and your spine houses your central nervous system, it's also very calming for your central nervous system. So one thing I know that my students have a lot of issues with, I want to say complain about, or is a common problem for my students, and I think for many people because of the way we live in such a fast-paced culture and society, is anxiety. Many of us experience anxiety. And so doing poses like cat pose like this, where we're massaging our central nervous system, can be very soothing when our nervous systems are continually ramped up by things like living in a fast-paced city, having to commute, not getting enough sleep, drinking stimulated caffeinated beverages, things like that. A pose like cat pose can be really beneficial to reset your nervous system. Okay, so after cat pose, what did I say I was going to do? Oh, we were going to do some table pose. So table pose is going to continue in this position from all fours. And what we're going to do is slide your left leg to the back of your mat and your right hand to the front of your mat. And this is going to help to improve your balance. So you're going to lift your left leg and your right arm. So balance is one of the things that you can continue to improve, just like flexibility and strength, endurance, and your cardiovascular health. So it's one of those things that we have to work on. And then lower your arm and leg down, slide it in. And then let's do this on the other side. So slide your right leg to the back of your mat, your left arm forward, and then lift your arm and leg. So if this is really easy for you, you can challenge your balance by engaging your proprioceptive system. So you could move around through your joints by leaning forward and back and round and round. That would engage your proprioceptive system more. Or you could engage your vestibular system by rolling your head, looking up and down. So we've been doing a lot on my channel recently with balance. So we've been changing the whole balance thing up a lot, not just coming into a balance pose, but when we come into a balance pose, engaging our vestibular system and our proprioceptive system. But if you're brand new, probably coming into the balance pose is just enough. The other thing you can do is engage your vision system. You can close your eyes and notice how as soon as you close your eyes, it becomes more challenging. Okay, and then lower down. And I'm going to have to move forward a bit for the next one. Let's just give those wrists a little break. All right. So nerve-wracking coming on somebody else's channel. It's like subbing a class. You know, everybody's going to want their teacher back. Okay. I promise Kassandra will be back next week. Okay, let's do that pose that we were going to do to strengthen your core. So this is from the quadruped position again. So you can come up onto your fists. That will keep those wrists happy. Tuck your toes under. You're going to inhale here. And exhale, all you're going to do is just lift your knees and you'll feel your core tighten like a girdle. So this is a nice core strengthening pose. So as I said, yoga is so much more than flexibility. One of the things that we do in yoga a lot is strength as well. And so this is another one of those strengthening poses. It's a great core strengthening pose. Breathe into your side ribs and your back. And breathe out, draw your navel up to your spine. Okay, and then we're going to lower down and just shake out those wrists again. Those hands and wrists. Okay, we're going to practice lunge pose now to open up the fronts of your hips. So as you can see, when I'm sitting right now, this closes and really shortens the whole psoas muscle, which runs from the front of your hips to the back of your spine. It's one of the longest muscles in your body. And that actually makes it more difficult to breathe through your diaphragm. It causes tension in your central nervous system, and it causes all kinds of problems in your body. So this is a really important pose. You're going to stand on your knees and you're going to step your left foot through. It can be useful to have a chair here to help you if balance is an issue. Otherwise, you can put your hands on either side of your left foot here. And you want to feel an opening sensation in the front of your right hip here. And then we're going to switch sides. So you'll stretch out your other hip. So you'll walk your other leg through, lean forward until you feel an opening on the front of your left hip there. That's what you want to be feeling. And generally you want to stack your knee over your ankle here. You don't want this knee way over your foot here. Okay, so now we're going to make this process a little bit more dynamic. We're going to step into that lunge pose and we're going to come up to standing and then we're going to come back down. So this is to work on your balance. So if balance is an issue for you, it's a good idea to have a chair or a wall close by so that you can hold on so you don't fall over. What you're going to do is you're going to step forward into the lunge pose with one foot, and then you're going to come up to standing, and then you're going to step back. So you're getting the lunge pose on the other side and bring your knee back. So we'll do that on the left side. Step your left foot forward, come up to standing, step your left foot back, and bring your right knee back. So we're coming into a lunge with your left foot. You're stepping your left foot back, and you're coming back to kneeling. And this is a really good transition to standing. It's great to practice balance, It's also strengthening for your legs. We're practicing just with your left side right now, and then we'll switch to your right side. Okay, so you're doing great. You're doing really, really well. Let's try this on the other side. This is one of the ones that my students find the most challenging. When I ask them what is the most challenging balance posture, I hear this one. That one when we come from lunge and have to come up to standing. But if you have troubles with your sun salutation walkthroughs, this is a good one to practice too. So let's try it again. This time you're going to step forward with your right foot maybe, and it'll be different on both sides. See that? Right foot comes forward, you're going to step forward, step your right foot back, step your left foot back. So notice how we can practice balance in lots of different ways. We don't have to just come into a balance pose and hold it. And that's more like real life, isn't it? Because in real life, when we fall, it's not because we were standing in a balancing yoga pose. It's because we were moving and we got tripped up, right? So I think, in my opinion, it's more important to practice moving balancing than it is to come into a pose and look really pretty and hold a balancing yoga pose. Like maybe that's okay for an Instagram photo, but that in real life, you're more likely to trip when you or fall or lose your balance when you misjudge the depth of a curb or a stair or something like that, right? We're going to do one more like this. And then the next time we're going to come all the way up to standing. Good job. You did really well with those. Let me know how you like those in the comments. Okay, from here, we're going to do another strengthening pose. We're going to do chair pose. So I showed you this in the preview. Your feet are underneath your hip bones. Lift and spread your toes. And then you're going to sit down as though you're sitting down into one of those really tiny little kindergarten little kiddie chairs. Bring your arms out in front. Sit back. Sit way back. And this one strengthens your legs and your glutes. It strengthens your whole lower body. So breathe and hold here. And then you're going to come up to standing. Okay, from here, you're going to take your feet wide on your mat. And it doesn't have to be like side splits wide, just wide. And then you're going to roll your pelvis over your leg bones. So you're going to roll your pelvis, lift and spread your sit bones wide behind you. And you'll start to feel the muscles along the backs of your legs lengthening. And you're just going to let the crown of your head drop towards the ground. And in this pose, you are getting some lengthening through the muscles in the backs of your legs. But it's also another very calming pose for your central nervous system. And it's an inversion where your head is below your heart. So it's very good as an inversion as well. Okay, you're going to very slowly come back up to standing. And from here, you're going to make your way down onto the ground and lie on your stomach for a back bend. Okay, here you're going to lie down on your belly. And you're just going to roll your pelvis from side to side. Rock your back, rock your lower belly, and your lower body from side to side. This will just help to release your low back so that your low back is nice and soft in this one, nice and relaxed. And we'll just do a little something to lengthen your low back even more here. You're going to tuck your right toes under, lift your right knee, reach back through your right heel, and feel how that lengthens your low back there. Let's do that on the other side. Tuck your left toes under, lift your left knee, and reach back through your left heel, and feel how your low back is super long now. And then from here, you're going to walk your elbows back underneath you. So your elbows come back to underneath your shoulders. So you come into Sphinx pose, or sometimes called little cobra. And this pose is a great back bend to open up your chest and to strengthen your thoracic spine. It's fabulous for people who have some beginning stages of osteoporosis, osteopenia, to build bone density in your upper back. And also from a yin yoga perspective, from an organ perspective, it tonifies your kidneys. So in the winter, which it is now when I'm filming this, and your energy is low, it can help to tonify the kidneys, which are the storehouse of your energy. So breathe into your low back in this pose. And in this pose, you'll feel a compression, a tightness in your low back, but you don't want to feel any sharp shooting electric pain in your low back, but you will feel like there is a compression, like you're shortening through your low back. That is a sensation that you are going to feel in this pose, which is like, when you curl your bicep, it's that part of your back is shortening here. But you want to listen for the warning signs of sharp shooting pain, electric pain. That I think I'm explaining this well. You get it. If it's like that, then you need to come out. And then you're going to slowly walk your elbows back forward. And lie down on your belly again and pause here. Breathe into your low back. And then you're going to push yourself up onto all fours, and we'll come up to a seated position. You're going to sit with your legs out long in front of you. So now we're going to release your spine. So the spine was shortening a little bit in your low back now. Now we're going to release that with a twist. So you're going to take your right knee and bend it up. And then you're going to wrap your left arm around it, place your right hand at the base of your spine and turn towards it. Now, if it feels like too much of your body is in the way, like too much of your belly, you can do one of two things. You can lift and pull it out of the way there, or you can do an open twist. You can turn away from it. So you can also take your right arm to the inside of your right leg and turn away from it. So this is going to release tension from your spine. and release tension from your nervous system. So this is another good one for the anxiety and stress that we feel. And then come back to the center. Lengthen your right leg out. Bend your left leg in. So same thing here. You can either wrap your right arm around your left leg, turn towards it, and you can lift and pull your flesh out of the way. Or if that still feels too restrictive, for women too, it can be breasts as well. So you can also come into an open twist. Take your left arm to the inside of your left leg and do an open twist. Make room for your body. That's what you want to do. This is your practice. Okay, and then come back to the center. We're going to do child's pose now. So I said I was going to give you an option in case you had knee issues. So the option for knee issues would be knees to chest pose with your hands behind your knees. And in fact, I want you to do it kind of loose here, where you cross your arms and hold on behind your knees, because we're going to do a nice wide knee child's pose here. So that's your option if you've got knee issues. And really rest and relax here. If you don't have knee issues, you're going to join us here for child's pose, a wide knee child's pose with your knees open, and you're going to fold forward here. So both those positions are very calming and relaxing. They're also going to stretch out your low back. So breathe into your low belly and low back here. And then you're going to slowly make your way up, and we're going to finish with Shavasana, or corpse pose, where you lie down on your back with your palms turned up beside you, or you can have your hands on your belly. If you have any low back issues, please lie with your knees bent, your feet flat on the floor. You can let your knees drop towards each other. That will take the pressure off your low back. So this pose is really important. Now is not the time for you to turn off. You want to stay with us all the way to the end, because this is time for your practice to settle into your body, to allow your body to receive what you've been doing. And also it's time for you to let go of tension in your body and to release and surrender even more. So if you have a lot of stress in your life, this is probably your most important pose. You want to stay here. You're going to stay resting on your back. One of my things my students love in Shavasana is I read them a poem, and so I have a poem for you in Shavasana today. This poem is by Donna Faulds and it's called Let It Go. So you can allow the tension to release from your body as I read you Let It Go by Donna Faulds. Let go of the ways you thought life would unfold. The holding of plans or dreams or expectations. Let it all go. Save your strength to swim with the tide. The choice to fight what is here before you now will only result in struggle, fear, and desperate attempts to flee from the very energy you long for. Let go. Let it all go and flow with the grace that washes through your days, whether you received it gently or with all your quills raised to defend against invaders. Take this on faith. The mind may never find the explanations that it seeks, but you will move forward nonetheless. Let go, and the wave's crest will carry you to unknown shores, beyond your wildest dreams or destinations. Let it all go and find the place of rest and peace and certain transformation. So gradually allow your breath to deepen. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. You're going to bend your knees. Roll to your right side. And then slowly make your way up to seated. Thank you so much for joining me for this Yoga for Beginners class today on Kassandra's channel. It was my pleasure to be a guest here today on her channel. If you like today's show, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to Kassandra's channel, please subscribe. I know she puts out tons of great content and you want to subscribe to make sure that you can receive it all. Come on over to my channel too. My channel is Yoga with Melissa. We'll link to it in the show notes so you can come on over. As I said, we've got a whole beginner series so you can go through it as well. And we're both Canadian girls filming here in Canada, one end of the country to the other. So definitely join us. And let me see, I have something for you. I have something for you in the comments. I'm curious to know what aspect of yoga that you found most interesting today. Was it the breathing? Was it releasing tension? Was it spinal health, strength, mobility, balance, or awareness? Leave your comments below. And as I said, I'll be watching Kassandra's channel and I will be sure to respond to you. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much, Kassandra, for having me, and I look forward to seeing you again. I'm sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia. May your joy be as deep as our ocean. May you be grounded as the trees in our forest, and may you be as strong as our mountains. Om Shanti. Namaste.
Melissa would love to hear your questions and thoughts. Please leave your comments below the video. Thank you for your reviews on iTunes and YouTube. Your reviews help us to share yoga and a yoga lifestyle with others around the world. If you have a question for Melissa, you can leave a voice message at melissawest.com, and Melissa may answer it in an upcoming blog.